Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
Imagine a model you trusted, quietly eating revenue for months. No red flags, no single incident to point to, just a steady leak. We dug into one account where that invisible tax cost them 3 to 4 weeks of revenue every quarter. Today, I'll show you how to make that leak visible, measurable, and fundable.
Quick question. How does that even happen in a company with monitoring and SLAs?
Good question. It's rarely one failure. It's the compound effect of brittle data, undocumented feature changes, and undefined ownership. Individually small, collectively devastating.
Okay, stop treating this like a vague engineering gripe. When models underperform or fail, the impact is business grade. Lost conversion, inaccurate risk decisions, frustrated customers, and thrown away experiments. You need a playbook executives can use to prioritize and pay for fixes.
So what does that playbook look like in practice? Start with a simple taxonomy, framed as scenarios, not bullets. For example, a feature that loses lineage when a vendor changes a schema. That's data debt. An ad hoc ETL job that breaks after a patch. Pipeline debt. A model retrained with a skewed label distribution. Model debt. Tests that don't cover edge cases. Testing debt. Missing observability. Monitoring debt. And the catch-all, unclear decision rights and incentives, organizational debt.
Don't overcomplicate the labels. Describe failures as stories. Who noticed? What business signal moved? How long before rollback? Stories map to dollars, which is how executives make decisions.
Right. But how do you measure something that feels fuzzy?
Use 4 practical metrics every time: business impact, failure rate, lead time, and remediation cost. Business impact asks how much revenue, margin, or churn is affected when this component fails. Failure rate, how often does it happen? Lead time, how long from detection to resolution? Remediation cost, how many engineer weeks, infra hours, and testing cycles to fix it?
For example, a feature pipeline breaks twice a quarter, costs 2 engineer days per incident, and drops conversion by 0.5% for the affected segment. Multiply those numbers, and you get a dollar figure that belongs in the budget deck. Suddenly, remediation is not a technical wish. It's a revenue-preserving investment.
Makes sense. But teams always want to fix everything. How do you avoid scope creep?
Discipline. Use a simple impact versus effort prioritization. High impact, low effort, fund immediately and sprint. High impact, high effort, stage into milestones with clear gates. Low impact, low effort, bake into routine engineering hygiene. Low impact, high effort, monitor and defer. And score each item with those 4 metrics to keep debates factual, not emotional.
Operationally, I recommend a 3-step remediation pattern you can run in a tight 4 to 6 week sprint. Step 1, create a debt register, 1 page per item with owner, impact, frequency, and a guesstimated cost. Step 2, define the hypothesis. Which business KPI will move if we fix this? Step 3, run a focused sprint. Measure the delta and decide. Ship the fix, iterate, or retire the effort.
Can that really pay back quickly? Executives expect ROI.
Yes, I'll give you a concrete case. A payments provider with repeated fraud false positives. They added targeted unit tests to signature code and a lightweight canary before rollout. In 3 weeks, false positives dropped 30%, conversion recovered, and the remediation paid back in reduced lost revenue and fewer manual investigations. You will confront trade-offs. Reducing model complexity might cost a fraction of accuracy, but improve recoverability and explainability. Automated retraining without solid monitoring can create flapping. The right answer is contextual. What does the business tolerate? Make the trade-off explicit and tie it to the KPI you care about.
How do we get finance to approve ongoing work, not just one-off sprints?
I prefer a hybrid funding model.
Allocate a visible remediation sprint budget for quick wins. That's your proof of value capital. Then bake recurrent allocation into product or release budgets to prevent reaccumulation. Treat major platform refactors as CapEx with milestones. Treat routine hygiene as OpEx that teams maintain.
Decision rights and incentives close the loop. Define who signs off on production changes, who owns the debt register, and how roadmaps reserve time for retirement. Reward teams on operational metrics, uptime, incident frequency, mean time to remediate, not just new features. Make debt visible in leadership reviews, so it's part of performance discussions.
There's always resistance. Any tips for cultural change? Change the language. Stop saying tech debt as a vague negative. Tie items to business outcomes. Reduce revenue leakage by X, or cut manual review hours by Y. Run visible sprints with outcomes published to leaders. Celebrate the wins, like feature launches, because they are revenue-preserving features.
Technically, invest where automation and governance amplify human judgment. Data contracts to prevent schema surprises, feature registries to avoid duplicate logic, standardized CI/CD for models, and observability to detect drift early. Automation enforces discipline. Governance ensures exceptions get reviewed, not ignored.
2 concrete actions you can start in the next 30 to 90 days. 1. Create a lightweight debt register, 1 page per item, with owner, business impact, failure frequency, and an estimated remediation cost. 2. Choose 1 high-impact, low-effort item and run a 4-week remediation sprint tied to a business KPI. Measure before, during, and after.
And if leadership still pushes back,
Present the numbers. Show the revenue at risk per hour, the expected payback period, and the alternative cost of continued firefighting. Make the remediation proposal comparable to other investments. Same metrics, same rigor. If it moves the needle on top line or reduces a material risk, it should get capital.
Final thought. Technical debt in ML is not an engineering personality trait. It's an operational and strategic problem. When leaders translate technical signals into business metrics, fund focused remediation, and change incentives, they stop paying the invisible tax and start realizing predictable AI value. That's the difference between models and value. I'm your host, Mirko Peters. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen. If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.